Welcome back to Movie Farm. Let's talk about a good structure. What does it entail, and what should you be looking out for if you want to make your own good structure? So I'm going to show you how I did my good structure, and that is a raised goat structure that can house around 50 goats or even more. And I'm just going to show you like step by step how we did this in the farm and how you can also manage to build the same in your own farm. So this is just us buying the materials. So we did a list of the materials that we needed to construct the goat structure and came up with the list. Of course, I knew the prices. We went around a few vendors in my location, just local hardwares and stuff, because I didn't want the goat house to be expensive. And I came up with just one shop that had like the best prices. So we bought the materials. This is the wood, the logs, the timber, some iron sheet, iron meshes, and all that. I looked at the prices and I was given like a good price that I could afford, of course. And therefore, it's very important that you look around your own market and also compare prices to make sure that you get the value for money for the goods that you're constructing. This is us putting the materials in a lorry for transportation for us to take them to the farm. I also noticed that if you start buying in small quantities, then your transport costs will be on the higher side. So that is something that I learned when I was building this, because there are some materials that we thought that we didn't need, or even after we started the structure, we realized that we needed more materials, and therefore we had to go back to the market to buy more, and that cost us another transport cost. So please buy everything in bulk, prepare yourself, and make sure that you're buying at the same time as you need the materials. So we brought the materials to the farm. So I was excited and ready to start on this project. The goat farm project is the raised structure is very ideal because I had a flat based housing, and I kept on losing the kids because of parasites, because of the sanitation, hygiene, and all that. And therefore I went to do a raised goat house. And this took about, when you have like the materials with you, it will only take about 3 weeks for you to finish your structure, and this structure will serve you for years and many years to come. And of course, because we are going into commercial goat farming, I presume that the 50 I'll be selling off some, so at any given point I'm able to ensure that I have 50 goats onto the structure. So we went ahead and created the poles. Remember that this structure is a raised one. So we wanted to do like a base of raised poles. And our raised poles, you can choose to have raised poles of timber, or you can do them on cement or stones, so long as it's something that is raised. So we went ahead and built ours on stone and then covered the stone with cement. We gave it a few days for it to dry, because you cannot start the project until you've watered and ensured that the cement is dry. And yeah, so that took like a few days for it to dry, and to make sure that everything is okay. So why like raised? Because there are some people who would want to do raised. Why raised? Because there are some people who would opt for a flat based structure, which is just on the ground, and there are some people who would want to raise it. For me, I found that for the almost 5 years that I've had a flat house, it had a lot of disease. Management was very poor, hygiene was very poor, because the goat feces would just be there with the urine and everything mixed up, and people and the workers that I had could not even sweep the place. And therefore you find that the hygiene is very poor. Then you have issues of disease and parasites, and I was losing a lot of kids, the kids that were born, the newly born kids. So all that, I decided that because I'm going to have this commercially done, I need to maybe create a good environment for my goats to be there. So that's why I chose the raised one. But as a beginner, you can start with a flat base. But depending on your budget, you can also raise the poles to be almost 7 feet or 8 feet above the ground. So the level that you would want the goat structure to the higher you want it to be, the what is it cost, the more cost that you incur. So if you have like a good budget, you can raise it even higher than this, but my budget could only allow about 3 feet or so, and this will ensure that we have like a good hygiene mechanism, and we'll be able to clean underneath the goat structure. We are going to be sweeping the place once a week, and also when we are doing like the spraying and all that, we'll be able to just go in under the goat housing and spray if needed be. So we, after the poles were dry, we put on the logs. So this is like now starting on the base of the goat structure. So we put up the logs, of course, attached them to the poles. And just remember that even though I chose cement poles, you can either do wood poles, you can do metal, you can do trees. So whichever locally available material that you have, then that can also be used in this goat structure. So don't inconvenience yourself, so long as you know what you're doing. So after the logs and after the base has been put, we now put the rods or the support for the structure, the overall structure. And as I had mentioned before, this structure will hold 50 goats. And now we've put the wire at the top, where we'll start off our roofing. And let me know if you have any questions, if this is something that you would like to see more of. If you have like any questions of step by step, the materials that I used, how much it cost, please put that on the comment section and I'll be able to respond to you. So after we put the support, now we are going to put the timber or the floor, and that is coming up. And then we are also going to put up the extra trees or logs. The walling of the structure. I may not have the correct names of how to say it, but now this is now, it's like a box that goes the real what is it called, oh god, it's disappeared, but the real walling. And we chose the log trees. You can either do this with your timber, you can have like the half timber kind of logs. You can also have tree logs if you would wish. It depends. You can even do it with iron sheets. It depends on how you want the walls of the goat structure to look like. And also, just to make sure that you put all the nails in the same place, like you don't need to, yeah. So that's how our good structure looked like. And I'm happy that I did this, by the way, because I'm sure that it's going to help my commercial goat farming in the future. And the goats are really liking it. They're really liking how their new structure looks like. So there we go, just us creating the structure. And it really took a few days for it. Now we've already added the roofing, our support for the roofing on the top. So we've added that at the top, and then we brought in our timber. So this is just our timber that we are going to use. The timber will be used on the floor surface. And remember, because you are putting on goats, you have to space it correctly. So this is like 1 meter apart per timber, and this will allow like the goat feces, the urine and everything else to drop on the ground. So make sure that your spacing is good, and also don't make it too spacious because you will injure the goats. Remember, the goats have hoofs, so if you make it too spacious, the hoofs will the goat will be stuck, their hoofs will be stuck between the timber, and it will not be good for you. So make sure that you have the correct spacing for that. And that's just my small house, the generator house. Yeah, so after we got the timber, we went ahead and had our floor the floor of the goat house. And here we are just adding the floor, or just showing you the materials that you need and the kind of trees. And by the way, I had forgotten, make sure that you have treated trees, or trees that are already dry. Don't buy wet trees because they'll not work for you. So make sure that the trees are treated. And when we were beginning the structure, we also treated the halls. So make sure that you treat the halls if you have termite issues, because that will will ensure that your timber does not rust or does not be attacked by termites. And therefore, that's how we did it. So that's how the floor looks like. And the floor, you can do the floor before you start the wall, just the same way you do like a house. You do the foundation, and then you do the walling, and then you do the roofing. So this is like kind of like a foundation when it comes to a raised goat structure. And this is how the timber, the spacing on the timber, that's how it should look like. So it's very nice and ideal that you check out and ensure that you have the correct spacing for your timber, in between the timber, for the goats. And then after we did the floor, you also make sure there's something that else I've not mentioned, is about making sure that the floor is landing in a way, because you'd want the urine, the goat urine, to flow kind of in a way, to flow off the building and not be like too flat for it not to move, even though you have the spacing under on each timber. So it's very important that you kind of make it like slanting in a way, to ensure that you can also sweep in a good way, and the hygiene of the good structure will be ideal. And the materials depends. So the amount of materials that you're going to purchase will depend with the amount, or how many goats you want to keep at a time. If you have like 50 goats, then this is what I did. So maybe you want to start off the goat project, and you only want to do maybe 3 goats or even 10 goats, then this is not like the good structure for you. So in farming, you have to ensure that you minimize the cost that you are incurring, because that will push you to the right direction if you're doing it commercially. Even if you start with 3 goats, it's not like you need to build a very huge house. And I've seen farmers with huge houses that can accommodate almost 200 goats. But if you're not doing it commercially, and if you know very well that you will not be housing 200 goats, then there's no meaning of you making a big structure for those goats, because you will not need that structure. It's like building a house, a 20-bedroom house, and you have a small family. So let's be ideal. Let's not use costs that we do not have. And here we've now roofed, so you can see the poles that we started with at the very beginning are going up to the roof. And of course, we are putting the roof on a slanting way, because we are going to have it like collect rainwater and all that, and it should be on a slanting, like any other roof, even if it's like a house roof and all that. So back to us checking about our costs. If you have fewer goats, please make a small, or start off with a small housing. this is a house that I did after almost 5 years of still raising goats. I have 40 goats at the moment, and the 40 goats were on a flat surface. So it's not like I started now. Let's start with raise a raised goat house. No, I started somewhere, and therefore this is just an encouragement for you to start somewhere. You don't need to start here. You can start elsewhere. And I'm going to do another video about just the flat goat structure that is it that one will cost about $250. This is about $500 only, because the materials are locally sourced and the labor is also locally sourced. So you will decide, are you going on the flat or are you going on the raised? Or if you're going on the raised, are you doing a small raised structure and not like a big structure where you can put your family? And this is now the iron sheets. So we've, because of the wind, and also the wind at night, and also the wind during the day, we are going to cover our good structure with iron sheet round. You can either choose not to do iron sheet. You can do the half timbers. There's timber that is not I'm not sure how to call it, but I think you understand. So this timber that is not fully finished, like it's not yeah, that kind of timber. You can use that timber to put across, and then maybe just increase a little bit of spacing that will ensure that there's good ventilation on the housing. So after the iron sheet, we've put our iron mesh. Now this will ensure that we have free air circulating in the goat structure and outside. So half is iron sheets, then half of it is the wire mesh. And at the very top, you can see we also have the iron sheet at the top, that of course supports the wire mesh. And that's how we did it. And then now we are going to put like a running ram, or how the goats are going to come out from the goat house to the ground, and also to look at the run on the goats, like where they're going to be staying when in the afternoons, when they're not supposed to be on the goat structure. And also something else that pushed me to make this goat structure is about separating the females and the males. And because I've noticed that when I have small kids that are newly born, when they sleep with the other goats, then we have issues about either the goats they become sick, or maybe they can be stepped by the other goats. So the separation will ensure that we have a separate place where the kids can sleep. We have a separate place where the pregnant goat mothers can stay. And maybe with time, and also as when the budget allows, we can also have like a small section where we have the male back staying on its own, so that we synchronize our our kidding time. So that is something that will come, of course, as we learn. And because I had mentioned this with you, I'm learning as I continue teaching you. So it's not like I'm an expert in goat farming. I'm trying to homestead. I'm trying to make a sustainable living, and goats is part of our homesteading activities in Buvi Farm. So this is something that I'll be just teaching you, like where I started from, where I'm going, so that the mistakes that I made. Remember that, like the mistake of of me purchasing things in small pieces that has costed me a lot of transport cost. Those are some of the mistakes that I will tell you that I did, and therefore passing the information to you so that you budget wisely, so that you buy things wisely and you don't make the same mistake. So on the inside part, this is how the goat structure looks like. We also did um like, for you to separate the iron sheets and the goats, we've added a few timber between the logs and the iron sheets. So you'll see that when I do another video with the goats inside. The goats have really loved the place. It's very clean, it's very ideal, it's easy to clean. And now we've now put the run for the goats. As you see, that's like the run, and we still have materials that were left when we were constructing it. So I'm very grateful, and those are the goats for now. And you see how dirty they are, because the the structure that they were sleeping on was a flat one. So all the urine, all the feces, or everything in one place, and therefore that's why you see some of them are dark. They do not have like good skins. But I'm going to give you another video that will show you how, like, the posts after the new goat structure, how the goats look like. But right now every goat over there, it's very dirty, and that's why, and I decided to do the arrest one, and I think I'm very happy with the outcome that on what I did. So they're going to use the small ram, just to to run down from the goat house. And of course I'm going to show you the finished. Now this is the finished part where we've also blocked, so that for security reasons, so that the goats don't fall as they come down. And ours is just a small a ram. It's not like a higher lifted one, because of course the structure is not as raised. But as I had have mentioned, you can choose to raise it as high as you want. So it's your budget is how you want it. So you can raise it as high as you want it, and the ram will be also very high. So this is like the run where they're going to be staying in the afternoons after they come out from the feeding. In the morning they can just come and lazy around here. I'm expecting to have maybe a tap water feeding pots, or yeah, trams for them to feed on and to drink water. So those will come on later. But yeah, that's like the whole arrangement. And then we fixed the door. So the door is just like a iron sheet. It's a very secure door. And then now that's like the fencing outside, and we will have like another gate that you will show you. You see there's a gate over there that you can close, and the goats can be outside. Underneath the goat structure, we are going to cover that with a mesh, and therefore the goats will not go underneath the goat housing. We are going to cover that with a mesh, and then someone will be coming in to clean on a weekly basis, so that we ensure that we have that sanitation and hygiene process as days go by. And yeah, so that's the small gate for the goats. And we're going to enlarge this structure. So I've decided to just enlarge it a little bit, give them more space, and also include the trees around the run, so that the goats can have like a shed. Right now I think they are not, the trees are outside. There are a few trees that are there that are outside. And this is how the goat structure looks like. You can see but that my goats are still not very clean. But this is like a few weeks after the goat structure, as after the goats have started using the the goat housing, and they're kind of they're kind of cleaner than when we started off. And then we have a few sheep which are already mixed with, actually I have 7 sheep. We started with 3, and right now we are at 7. So we are thankful, and we thank the Lord for the amazing grace and multiplication. And going forward, so this is just us, and that's how we did it. If you like this video, please watch out the next video. We've done a lot of good videos, so just look at our channel and choose the right video that you would like to watch.